I want to go across to Ambassador Rakesh Sood first. You've seen the India-French relationship over the years. This is India's most reliable, oldest strategic partner in Europe. In terms of taking that relationship forward, Ambassador, and in terms of the announcements that have been made on the Scorpion submarine, on the purchase of the Rafale naval jets, how significant is this visit in comparison with the Prime Minister's recent visit to the US? When you look at what happened in Washington with what's happening in Paris, how do the two compare?
Well, I think first of all, let me tell you, as Prime Minister Modi just announced, that this is 25 years of India-France strategic partnership. France was the first country with which we established a strategic partnership in 1998. Now, since that time, we have seen a gradual development, a progression in India-France strategic partnership. When it began, there were three pillars: defense, nuclear, and space. Gradually, other pillars were added. Counter-terrorism was added. Intelligence sharing was added. Then smart cities and urbanization was added. Then economic investment was added. So, you know, it is a very full agenda. And there are about 40 bilateral dialogues every year between India and France. The other difference, and I know, you know, given the fact that the France visit is coming just after the US visit, there are bound to be comparisons. But I would say that with US, we have had ups and downs. Although in recent years, we have seen a consistency, you know, a bipolitical consensus in Washington on developing relations. But it is driven a lot by China. With France, we have not seen that factor play a role. With France, there is an ideological convergence. The ideological convergence comes from the fact that both India and France look to a multipolar world. And therein lies the difference.
That's an important point. America has pushed back, raised concerns. With France, it's been an upward trajectory for the past 25 years. I want to go across to Air Marshal Anil Chopra on the question of why the Air Force has preferred the naval variant of the Rafale to the F-18 Super Hornet. I mean, if I do a tech comparison of the F-18 with the Rafale naval variant, it seems that the F-18 has the edge, yet we've chosen the Rafale. Explain, as someone who's so passionate about French fighter jets, why you think...
Space connection with France for a very long time. We use their launch sites for putting our rockets into space. But especially for Rafale, I must tell you that our experience with Rafale, firstly, it had been selected out of 6 aircraft after a grueling competition. And finally, when we bought 36 of them, the plan was to make them in India. But thereafter, the Navy started their process between F-18 and the Rafale, and I'm so happy that finally the Navy has chosen the Rafale. There are big advantages. You know, we already have 36 aircraft. We have operational experience. We have got 2 air bases. They can take on more aircraft. If we have decided now that the Navy is going to have Rafale M, which is a very good aircraft, it's later than it has come later than the F-18. As far as the production timeline is concerned, so it is a better aircraft. And I personally feel today that if we have chosen to buy these 26 aircraft for Indian Navy, it will be a good idea. After all, we have been talking of Make in India. Maybe it will be a good idea to buy some more for the Air Force, which is falling short of numbers. Instead of going through the 114 aircraft, grueling selection process once again, and make them in India with a larger order for the Air Force, and of course even later on the Indian Navy may have a larger order.
As a champion pilot who's flown the Mirage, you're clearly, your heart's beating for those French jets, and I can see that. Marshal, I want to go across to Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha on India buying more Scorpion nuclear submarines in the context of China's rapid upgradation of its naval fleet, particularly submarines. China assisting Pakistan in upgrading its naval fleet. Do you think we're doing enough? And
use the skills of manufacturing submarine, because the line is already there and fixtures are around. It is better to add the the number of submarines, so that the total numbers are they're a lot of them are getting decommissioned because of age, and we will fall short. And therefore, it's a very good decision to take, that let's buy 3, or rather being manufactured here, will be built here. The good point is that the air independent propulsion system, the AIP, manufactured by the DRDO, which has already done the trials on platforms,